Alright, it's first full day back at pseudo work. This isn't my real job yet, but I decided that I'm going to start doing some articles from Twitter. That seems to be the thing to do these days. And I followed some people who retweet some really interesting articles. This one comes from Christy Winters, who also has a YouTube channel based on politics that you should definitely follow. She sent, not necessarily me, but she just retweeted this article on her timeline about the neuroscience behind why white cops kill black men. It comes from Raw Story. Now, mind you, I don't know the lean or the bent of these websites because I really don't spend a lot of time on the polarized, magnetized articles that these websites give. I do know Breitbart is absolutely and despicably right-wing. I know that much because they're just so good at it that, you know, their marketing is better. But Raw Story, I don't know whether they're liberal or conservative or whatever. And I think that's better because I can determine my viewpoint without going in with any kind of, preconceived notions. I was reading over the beginning of this article, and I saw, basically they're kind of police apologists. That's what I got from the frickin' article, because the first thing that they say is, studies from neuroscience and psychology may shed some light on why police officers that aren't consciously racist are quick to pull the trigger on black men. Are you serious? Like, you talk to these officers, like the guy, they have a picture up here about the coward that shot Walter Scott and then planted something on him. Like, that's not consciously racist to you. Like, it's consciously something. Consciously mentally deficient, The guy who was proven to be mentally deficient, who shot Tamir Rice, that cop, he got fired from his other jobs for being mentally deficient. There were other police, white police, that said he should have never held another gun. He got hired by Cleveland. I don't know how that happened. But they go through this article, and he's sitting here, whoever wrote it is sitting here saying that these officers aren't consciously racist. Are you kidding? The Minnesota shooters from the Black Lives, the ones that shot up the Black Lives Matter protest a couple of days ago and then ran to the police station like cowards, one of them got caught on videotape getting into a car with a cop, like a getaway car. So to think that there's not a correlation between the poll boards on 8chan, white supremacist groups who are cowering, in their houses over and communicating to each other through the deep web, and cops, fat donut-eating cops, is absurd. These people absolutely get together with each other. They're friends. They play cards together. They do each other's sisters. It's, yeah. Are you kidding me? So they're sitting here talking like some psychological study is supposed to prove whether someone is racist or not. Look, Sargon of Akkad completely destroyed that notion when he took the racism test and put it up on YouTube for all to see. The test said that he wasn't racist. And just like any test, you can train for it. All right? Just like the SAT in high school or the LSAT, you can train for those kinds of tests. It doesn't affect whether you're actually one thing or another or not. What else does this dumb article have to say? Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty much it. This whole stupid article just goes through a bunch of stuff that's naturally, like, people would know that, obviously. One finding that this thing says is that, interestingly, scientists have also found that white individuals have an attention bias for black faces. Like, they will focus on a black face more readily than than white faces. And, why do you need a study to tell you this? things that look different, things that are outside of the realm of normalcy for your environment, of course you're going to focus on those things first because those are the things that are potentially a threat to you. Now, that isn't necessarily racist because if I'm in an all-black environment and a white person shows up, especially a low-class white male drag, of course I'm going to focus on that person first. I believe that is a conscious racism. It's absolutely a conscious racism. And until that person proves to me that he isn't a threat, I perceive him as one. So, this whole thing about apologizing for cops and saying that it's under the surface is ridiculous. Like, humans are not that stupid. Even the dumbest humans are not so dumb as to believe that, this is all subconscious. We're not animals. And these cops need to be held completely accountable for the things that they do. I still think it's not enough of a punishment for them to go to jail. I mean, they kill someone. Even going to jail for 25 years is not the same. There's no parity there. Unless they're getting the AAA tune-up in there. Anal attitude adjustment. Then maybe there might be some parity. And I hope that, all these so-called gangsters, like if that Chicago cop goes to jail, the one that shot Laquan McDonald, if he's found guilty, he definitely ought to be in line for a AAA tune-up. And if he makes it all the way through his term, then I put the so-called gangster mentality of these tough Chicago dudes into serious question. I believe that the judge gave that guy bond to keep him from getting the AAA adjustment. Because if these gangsters are really as hardcore as they say they are, that guy, Jason Van Dyke, would have never made it to trial. But, that had to be part of the reason why they gave this clown bond. And it was only $150,000, which is ridiculous. That's ridiculously low. There are two black cops who shot a white child under a similar circumstance. There was a white father who had his 6-year-old child in the back, and he was running away from cops and shooting at them, and two black cops shot at him and ended up killing the baby. Now, I'm definitely not for killing innocent white children because nobody's born racist. Nobody's born an enemy of mine. The only reason I bring that up is not to say, justice or retribution. No. The 6-year-old child, no. You have to teach racism. That child's not racist. So he's no enemy of mine. The difference is, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the immediacy in which those two cops were picked up. It took 2 days for them to get arrested, if that. And I think their bond is either $1 million or they're being held without bond. To my knowledge, they're still in jail. I've looked at it, and I couldn't find any articles saying that they'd made bond, because on those kind of charges, you aren't supposed to be able to put up to 10%. You're supposed to have to pay the whole thing. But yeah, that's the difference in how these people are treated. Are you going to say that those cops somehow have a less conscious view of what racism is, or they weren't racist, and not hold them fully responsible? No, they were held fully responsible. And they're probably going to go to jail. So whatever, this story is crap. I still like Christy Winters, though. She's great. But the story's crap. All right.